This analysis of the Skanda Purana was collected, created, and presented by Pawan Thakur from Thakur Property Consultancy. Within the 18 major Hindu Mahapuranas, the Skanda Purana stands as the most massive. It contains approximately 81,000 verses, a scale that suggests a project far larger than a simple religious narrative. Its historical antiquity is grounded in physical evidence. A palm leaf manuscript found in Kathmandu in 1898 dates back to 810 CE, establishing it as a foundational text of the early medieval period. While often categorized as a book of myths, its structure identifies it as a Tirtha Mahatmya. It is an encyclopedic geographical travelogue designed to guide the movement of people across the subcontinent. Ancient scholars used these verses as a pedagogical framework to systematically map, label, and sanctify the physical landscape of South Asia. To manage its 81,000 verses, the text employs a macro structure divided into 7 primary sections, or khandas. These function as a vast cartographic network. The Maheshwar Khand defines the vertical axis of this map. It connects the high Himalayan peaks of Kedarnath in the north to the pilgrimage site of Tiruvannamalai in the south. The Vaishnav Khand plots the eastern and northern regions, illuminating Vishnu-centric sites, including Jagannath Puri, Badrinath, and the city of Ayodhya. The Brahma Khand anchors the southern coast, documenting the topography of Rameshwaram and the Rama Setu Bridge extending toward Sri Lanka. Centered on the map is the Kashi Khand. This is a 100-chapter cluster focused exclusively on the dense religious and physical geography of Varanasi and the Vindhya region. The Avanti and Nagar Khandas cover the west-central zones, tracing the path of the Narmada River and the ancient Vadnagar region. Finally, the Prabhas Khand completes the network's western boundary, mapping the coastlines and interior of Saurashtra, Somnath, and Dwarka. While these 7 zones are standard, some traditions classify the material into 6 samhitas, indicating that the text was a dynamic record that evolved alongside the geography it described. This macro structure demonstrates a concerted effort to spatially unify the subcontinent through a single shared narrative. This raises a structural question. If the text is a geographic encyclopedia focused on the supremacy of Shiva, why is it named after Skanda? Skanda, also known as Kartikeya, is the god of war and commander of the divine army. The theological backstory involves Lord Shiva retreating into ascetic isolation following the death of Sati. This withdrawal leaves the heavens vulnerable, allowing the demon Tarakasura to conquer and displace the gods. The Purana centers on Skanda's birth and his subsequent victory, the Tarakasura Vad. This act is the narrative mechanism that allows universal and earthly order to be restored. Skanda's military victory functions as a cosmic reset. By removing Tarakasura's chaos, he restores the deities to their designated pilgrimage sites, creating the stable, sanctified landscape that the Purana then catalogs. To see how this cataloging works at a micro level, we have to look at the northern Himalayas and the specific section known as the Kedar Khand. This section is set within the harsh, imposing topography of the high peaks, where the landscape itself dictates the religious narrative. In this dialogue, the sages Jaimini and Markandeya define Kedarmath as a physical manifestation of Shiva's own heart, existing as a tangible slice of the divine realm on earth. The text claims that this geography lies outside the jurisdiction of Yama, the god of death, framing the valley as a physical gateway to moksha. It anchors this status in the myth of the infinite Jyotirmana, a pillar of endless light that settled a supremacy dispute between Brahma and Vishnu. The text uses this myth to anchor Shiva's abstract infinity into a tangible geological extrusion, the Kedarnath landscape. This mapping continues in the story of the Pandavas, who journey into the Himalayas to seek expiation from Shiva after the destructive Mahabharata war. Shiva attempts to evade them by transforming into a bull, but as he descends into the earth, his triangular hump remains on the surface. This narrative correlates directly to the physical architecture of the shrine. The object of worship in the Kedarnath sanctum is a unique triangular stone, guarded by the Nandi bull statue in the courtyard. The Purana also identifies the Mandakini River as the vital geographical artery of this region. Within the river, the text notes the presence of a massive boulder, mythologically placed by the brother Bhim to help the Pandavas cross. This ancient marker manifested in reality during the 2013 floods. A massive boulder, now called the Bhim Shala, washed down and wedged directly behind the temple, splitting the water and saving the building from destruction. These mythological markers function as precise geological records, mapping physical anomalies that continue to define the valley today. Beneath the mythological layer, the Skanda Purana functions as a massive repository for ancient spatial data. By encoding geographical coordinates and geological anomalies into theological narratives, its compilers generated a record of sacred geography that survived for over a millennium. By following these verses, the traveler experiences the subcontinent's mountains and rivers as the literal, traversable anatomy of the divine. This deep dive into the Skanda Purana was collected, created, and presented by Pawan Thakur from Thakur Property Consultancy. For inquiries, contact 900-435-2787.